Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, I want to say happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Yes, mothers, the women that give birth to all of us. Not the birthing persons or the whatever the newfangled term is that absolutely is insanity and makes no sense. Sorry if I step on your toes, but I'm not sorry. There are real mothers out there, and they are precious to all of us. They should be. And so I hope that you're able to spend some time with your mother today. And for those of you that your mothers have passed on, while it could be a day of sadness, I hope that you also reflect upon the blessing of having the mother that you had in your life. Because good or bad, the vast majority of those moms out there are actually pretty good at heart. And so we need to uplift and thank them. So men, do yourself and your family a favor and teach your children how to respect and uplift your mother, their mother, on this day. And I want to say a happy Mother's Day to my wife, the mother of my children, but also to my mother, who is here today with us, not on this video, but here at the house with us. So it's a good day. I haven't had my mother in my home on a Mother's Day for a while, so it's a good day for that. I just want to take the moment to say that. Now getting on to the other stuff, which I know I started off on such a light note and happy, and now the darkness is upon us. Not really, but I want to show you some things today that may shake you to your core. In fact, there's a little video clip I'm going to throw in at this video at some point that some of you may not like. It may ruffle your feathers, but that's just how the truth is. The truth is no respecter of persons. It just is what it is. And so I want to get into it. You know, one of the things that a lot of us have been commenting on, myself, I've said it in videos, I've said it in person, my wife and I have talked about it, and countless people have said similar things to me in person and through emails and stuff. It's the shock at how rapid things are changing. Like it's moving really fast, and people are just kind of surprised at that. It's not so much surprising that they're doing what they're doing or what they want to do, but what's surprising is it's moving really fast. So I want to show you this clip, video clip that came out just a few days ago. Probably very few of you have seen this. This is at a little press briefing at the United Nations. You know, those things that no one ever watches. The guy just, goes over some, stuff in their little, memos, and then that's it. But listen to what he says, because he's talking about the marriage of the United Nations and the World Economic Forum. Take a listen at this.
This afternoon, the Secretary General and Klaus Schwab, the founder of the World Economic Forum, will witness the signing of a memorandum of understanding on a strategic partnership between the UN and the World Economic Forum, which outlines areas of cooperation to deepen engagement between the two institutions and to jointly accelerate the implementation of the 2030 Agenda.
Yes, to further and speed up and ramp up Agenda 2030, which Agenda 2030, if you haven't figured it out yet, it's part of the Great Reset, or maybe the Great Reset's part of Agenda 2030, and it's all part of Agenda 21 and part of Agenda 2050. They're all the same, really. I mean, they're different aspects of the same thing, but in the end, they're all to a complete takeover and restructuring and resetting of our world. In their favor, of course, not in yours. And so while this is not necessarily a big surprise, what this guy at the United Nations said, it does confirm for a lot of us that this is exactly what they're doing, and they've made a pact to further it along. Remember Klaus Schwab, they have to capitalize on this opportunity, the whole pandemic, and all the things that's changed. It's given them a great opportunity for world domination. And that's exactly what's happening, folks. And don't think for a moment that it's only one set of bad guys that's doing this. I'm telling you, they're all the bad guys. There may be different factions out there working for their version of a global takeover, but I assure you, they're all in the same classification. They're all in the same group. But to push their agenda, and we're seeing it every day in the news. It may not be said in the news when something comes out that today gas prices, reach new highs, and because of that, less people will be, driving cars and using fuel, which is, of course, part of the Great Reset agenda. They don't say it that way, folks, but you have to kind of put the puzzle pieces together. Kind of like, this little thing here that these grid operators are warning people that this switching over to this renewable energy stuff, it's going to cause some grid failures. There's going to be shortages of electricity. There already are, okay? For those of you in Texas, back, what was it, 2 winters ago, 2 winters ago, I can't remember now, I'm old. When you had the harsh winter, and not all, but part of the problem is that Texas has aggressively switched over to renewable energy sources, and it just didn't hold up in that, ice storm and snowstorm. Windmills froze up, solar panels were froze over, and they weren't producing any electricity. So this is a problem that's going to start happening more and more as there's a greater push, and it's going to mean less electricity for you. There's going to be shortages. But this is all part of the Great Reset. It's all part of Agenda 2030. If you read all their stuff, that's exactly what they say. They want you using less of this stuff. They want you buying less, they want you owning less, and they want you using less electricity. And so what better way to use electricity than just to not produce enough electricity? It's kind of like all this oil stuff, where they claim that there's these massive oil shortages, which causes gasoline to go up. And people use less of it when there really isn't any oil shortages at all. But anyways, food shortages, we've talked about that. And we've talked about that so extensively, of all the different things of the food shortages and the price increases that are happening. And I still hear constantly people say that there's no food shortages and we're not going to have them. I mean, there may be some little third world country in the middle of the desert that might experience food shortages, but this is America. And America, we can feed the world, and we're big and fat, and we have plenty of everything, and it's always going to be that way because America is the freest and the best and the strongest. Well, guess what, folks? You're living in a dream. That America no longer exists anymore, if it ever even did exist, because we're already having food shortages. I mean, this whole baby formula stuff, it's getting worse. And don't tell me, well, that's different because there was a recall. There's recalls of food all the time, okay? There's recalls of food all the time. And you cannot say that just because of a recall, and if you read, that recall only affected a little bit of the overall baby formula stuff, but it's actually affecting it worse. They're saying 40 to 50% of baby formula that's needed is just gone. I've heard from firsthand accounts from parents that are telling me that they're having to go to 3 and 4 stores at a time just to possibly be lucky enough to find the formula that they want. And then you hear all these doctors saying, I've seen reports, don't make your own, don't try to do anything natural, don't do that. Well, what do you think people did before baby formula? I mean, obviously they breastfed, but there were obviously times that a mother could not breastfeed. Usually the community helped out with that, and other mothers did. But even if there wasn't that, what did they do? Do you know? They gave them raw cow's milk or raw goat's milk. And I know that's shocking, and everyone's going to go, you're going to kill your kids. Except it happened then, and it happens today. In fact, I'm friends with Amish, and I've talked to them over the years, and that's exactly what they use. And in fact, I've used it on my own children in the past when it was necessary, because I'm not going to give them that, genetically modified, chemically ridden, non-food stuff in their bottle. But that's just my opinion. But it's interesting that this food shortage, the very first food shortage that we have in America, is for babies, right at the same time that we have people in the streets, in front of churches, and all over America starting, protesting and out in the streets because they want the right to kill their child. They want that. They want it. And they're very open about it. This group here, and I am not going to show you the video because the video is I'm just not going to do it. But I did watch the full video, and it's extremely inappropriate, the stuff that they're doing, but they are doing it, and they're doing it all over. Out front of a Catholic church, I believe this was in New York, and they were mimicking, the women were mimicking pulling babies out of their uterus and killing them. They were chanting, I don't even want to say it, but I'm just going to do it for reporting purposes. Thank God for abortion, okay? They were chanting that. There was all kinds of horrible stuff. This isn't about, well, what if a person gets raped, or if it's incest, or if the mother's life. That's not what they're protesting for. That's not what they're wanting. They're wanting the right to absolutely murder their child and to glorify it, okay? Interesting that's happening at the same time. But there's all kinds of stuff happening at the same time, and that's why we get so overwhelmed and we get lost in it, and we tend to get to that overwhelmed point that we just kind of give up because it's too much. I mean, they're starting the Ministry of Truth. We all know about that. That's been in the news and everything. But did you know that the Justice Department is opening an office for environmental justice? That's right. They're going to make sure that justice is done for the environment. And any of you polluters out there will be brought to justice by this new Office of Environmental Justice. Sounds very Agenda 2030 Great Reset to me, because the environment is a huge part of those plans. And this kind of stuff just keeps happening. There seems to be, nothing holding back. Every time, it amazes me that even conservatives, they consider something a win when they don't lose quite as bad. And that's where we've come to America, and that's why we're in this place in America, is because we've constantly chosen the lesser of two evils. And you know what do you get when you choose the lesser of two evils, folks? You still get evil. Okay? We've compromised and compromised and compromised ourselves into this position. Instead of standing firm decades ago and saying this kind of trash, this kind of ideology is not going to stand, and we're not backing away. And we don't care if your feelings get hurt, okay? That may be what you want, but it's not going to happen. Not in this community, not in this state, and not in this nation. But we didn't do that. We compromised and we compromised, and here we are today. And we have all this stuff going on and all these distractions. I mean, apparently tomorrow is a big parade day in Russia because it's their victory over the Germans' day, and there's all kinds of rumors of what will happen. Could he declare a more intense further war, broader, widespread war? Could he declare victory? Could it be used as an opportunity to use nuclear weapons? Nobody knows. I guess we'll have to sit around and wait. But this kind of stuff is happening, and it's overwhelming people, and it's causing division. And we have all these people on the left that think that you and I are the evil, horrible ones, and we have all these people on the right that think the left are these evil, horrible ones, when the reality is it's the people in leadership are the ones. They're the ones that's playing this out. They're the ones that's playing the game, and that's what it is. This is a game. And just like George Carlin once said that, what was it, the quote? It just slipped my mind. I'm telling you, I'm getting old, folks. But George Carlin once said that this is all just a game. I can't remember the exact quote, but that's basically what he said. And many of you know what I'm talking about. Because here, I want you to watch this. I'm going to play this while I speak. It's just like 10 seconds. I made it, okay? I made this. For all of you that believe that there's good guys and bad guys in this, they're all part of the same team. Maybe they're different factions fighting for their own agenda, but the end result is they're all the same team. Here's all these world leaders, the good guys and the bad guys, that are speaking at the World Economic Forum over the last few years. That's right. They've all had to go there and pay homage to Klaus Schwab, the new world leader, or the new poster boy for world leadership. And so you can't tell me or convince me anything any different. I understand that certain people in leadership have done some good things. I'm sure you could point to things that Biden has done in his past in politics that were actually a pretty good thing. I mean, even Jeffrey Dahmer was known to be a pretty decent guy, He was a polite person. I mean, that's how these people are. But don't forget for a minute that it's them against us, and they know that. And this world domination plan that they have, it's happening, okay? They're not wanting to make it happen. That's where you have to get it straight in your head, folks. They're not wanting to make it happen. They're putting it into place moment by moment. It's been happening for a few years now. And if you're just now waking up to it, it's time for you to catch up and realize that this is happening all around us, and you need to get your houses in order. Prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually, and especially your families, folks. Thank you for watching today, and I'll catch you in the next video.